Welcome to the Explainer. You know, working on an oil rig or at a refinery, it is literally one of the most dangerous jobs on the planet. If you're an HSC professional, health, safety, and environment, trying to build a career in oil and gas, I guarantee you've seen the NEBOSH International General Certificate pop up in just about every single job listing. But is it actually the right fit for you? Let's find out. We're talking explosions, chemical spills, massive fires. In this kind of environment, the margin for error isn't just small, it is absolutely razor thin. Literally, a single mechanical failure can turn deadly in a matter of seconds. And that is exactly why companies in this space take their health, safety, and environmental hiring incredibly seriously. There's just no room for guesswork here. But here's the dilemma, right? The NEBOSH IGC is, well, it's a general qualification. It wasn't built specifically for the oil and gas sector. So you're probably left wondering whether it's actually the right investment for your career or if you'd be way better off going straight for something more specialized. Honestly, it's a perfectly fair question to ask, especially when it's your own time and hard-earned money on the line. So in this explainer, we're going to break down what the IGC actually covers, how it stacks up against those specialized certificates, and most importantly, what employers really want to see. All right, here is our roadmap for today. We'll hit the oil field safety dilemma, decoding the NEBOSH IGC, general toolkit versus specialist rules, what employers really want, and finally, building your safety career. Let's dive right in.
Starting with Part 1, the oil field safety dilemma.
Get this, roughly 90% of HSE jobs actively prefer candidates with a NEBOSH certification. 90%. Workplace safety has totally shifted into a massive strategic priority. Companies know that strong HSE frameworks obviously save lives, but they also prevent operational downtime and protect their reputations. So organizations are fiercely competing for professionals who can actually deliver results in these really unforgiving environments, which pretty much validates exactly why this credential is in such high demand.
Moving on to Part 2, decoding the NEBOSH IGC.
So NEBOSH has been the global gold standard since it launched in the UK way back in 1979. But the syllabus, it goes way beyond just memorizing a bunch of safety rules. You actually learn how to build and maintain strong safety cultures and how to spot hazards like slips, electrical faults, and machinery risks long before they ever become real incidents. It's really about tracking performance and applying international standards like ISO 45001 to protect real people in everyday working environments. And to make sure you can actually apply all of that, the assessment is split into two parts. First up is Unit IG1. This is a 24-hour open book exam based on complex, real-world workplace scenarios. So you're actually applying your knowledge to solve problems, not just reciting facts from a textbook. Then you've got Unit IG2. Now this one requires you to conduct an actual risk assessment in a real workplace, identifying hazards and building a concrete action plan. It basically proves you have the boots-on-the-ground capability to walk into a facility and just start fixing issues on day one. All of this translates to some pretty incredible global mobility. I mean, the IGSC is trusted by massive industry giants like BP, Shell, and Maersk. Plus, it's highly accessible. You can take it in languages ranging from Arabic to Russian and French. An HSC professional certified in Nigeria could move to Kazakhstan or the North Sea, and employers there will instantly understand their level of competency. It literally acts as a global passport for your entire career. Okay, Part 3. General toolkit versus specialist rules. Let's look at the difference. I like to think of the NEBOSH IGC as giving you the language of safety. It provides this broad, solid foundation that applies pretty much anywhere. But then there's the NEBOSH IOGC. That's the technical certificate in oil and gas operational safety. That one teaches you the dialect of the platform. The IOGC is hyper-focused on industry-specific threats, things like hydrocarbon process safety, specific fire protection systems, and offshore emergency response. Because let's be real, a standard factory evacuation protocol simply is not going to work for an offshore platform emergency or a massive hydrocarbon fire. Hydrocarbons behave completely differently under extreme pressure. If you're already working in oil and gas or you're planning to deal with these highly volatile hazards, understanding specialized certificates like the IOGC is absolutely non-negotiable. Which brings us to Part 4, what employers really want. And here is the reality. Securing a top-tier role isn't just an either-or scenario between these certificates. It's really about building a comprehensive portfolio, what we call credential stacking. For example, a lot of employers in the North Sea region won't even bring you in for an interview without offshore-specific survival training, like OPITO-approved courses. But if you combine that rigorous survival training with the NEBOSH IGC, the IOGC, or a process safety management certificate, you have suddenly got an incredibly powerful resume.
Stacking credentials like this creates massive career leverage. You're effectively proving to employers that you possess both the broad, fundamental safety foundation of the IGC and the highly specialized targeted depth needed to safely manage operations around volatile hydrocarbons. You go from being just a safety officer to being a versatile, immediately useful asset to literally any HSE team.
But hey, let's take a quick reality check here, because technical knowledge, that only gets you noticed. Soft skills are what actually get you promoted. You can know every single safety module backward and forward, but if your communication and leadership skills can't convince some rough-talking rig worker to actually put on their safety gear at 2 a.m. during a freezing shift change, you are going to struggle, big time. You need to be able to translate dense policies into plain language for the field operators, while also turning around and presenting polished statistics to the executive board. All right, our final section, building your safety career. So, a certificate on the wall is great, right? But practical experience is what transforms that theoretical knowledge into true, respected authority. Imagine two candidates, both with the NEBOSH IGC. One just passed the exam yesterday. The other has spent the last 3 years running toolbox talks, investigating near misses, and updating risk assessments right there on the rig. I mean, the choice for the employer is totally obvious. You've got to actively seek out these opportunities. Volunteer for safety audits, join safety committees, do whatever it takes to make your certification actually shine in the real world. Now, if you are ready to make the investment, picking the right study materials is absolutely vital. You'll want to grab the IG1 and IG2 complete study guides to cover both units in one handy reference, or maybe use the international revision guides for crunch time right before your assessment. And definitely keep continuous professional development on your radar. Advancing to something like the NEBOSH diploma can actually boost your earning potential by roughly 16%. That opens up doors to strategic, senior safety leadership roles. So I'm going to leave you with this thought to ponder. In an industry where the margin for error is razor thin, are you just out here collecting certificates, or are you actually preparing to lead a true culture of safety? The NEBOSH IGC is the essential language of safety, but it's entirely up to you to speak it, to specialize it, and to lead with it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning and stay safe out there.